This is Catholic Challenge on the Living Bread Radio Network. 16 teams will test their knowledge of the Catholic faith. Join us on this journey as we navigate our way from BC to AD and everything in between. Today's defenders of the faith will take up their shield and sword to compete for prize money and a chance to move on to the next round of competition. Are you ready for the challenge? Now, here's your host, Michael Roberts.
And welcome to another edition of Catholic Challenge. Today we have two teams with us that will compete, testing their knowledge of the Catholic faith. Each team is playing for their favorite Catholic charity, and whoever wins today will earn $200 for that charity and the opportunity to advance to the next round. So today we welcome Peggy Dolinsky and Jean Stavars. They are here playing for the Seminarian Fund at St. Francis DeSales Parish in Akron. We've also got Martha Rakita and Donna Inman. They are playing for St. James Church. So teams, welcome. It's Ladies' Day here on Catholic Challenge. Before we begin our game, let's find out how to play. Here's the rules.
In round one, each team will answer 5 questions. Correct answers are worth 10 points each. Questions are either true, false, or multiple choice. The contestants may confer, but the team captain must answer the question. There is no penalty for incorrect answers. If all 5 questions are answered correctly, the team will be given a chance to answer a bonus question worth 25 points.
All right, St. Francis DeSales, you will begin. Peggy Dolinsky, you are the team captain. Let's play Catholic Challenge. Round 1 starts right now. Here's question number 1. This saint was said to have heard the voices of St. Michael, St. Catherine, and St. Margaret when she was very young. When she was 13, she had visions of these same saints who told her to drive the English from French territory. She is the patroness of soldiers and of France. She was burned at the stake in 1431 for efforts during the 100 Years' War. Who is this saint? St. Joan of Arc, St. Cecilia, or St. Dymphna?
That would be St. Joan of Arc.
Correct. Question number 2 from Matthew chapter 23, verse 12. In his denunciation of the scribes and Pharisees, Jesus said, "Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, but whoever humbles himself will be" what? Trampled, ridiculed, or exalted?
They would be exalted.
Yeah, you got it. Here we go. Question number 3, true or false? One of the spiritual works of mercy is to admonish the sinner. True or false?
True.
That's it. Here's question number 4. The Nicene Creed, recited at Holy Mass on Sundays, starts with the words, "I believe in one God." What are the subsequent words? The Father Almighty, the Blessed Trinity, or Most High and Holy?
The Father Almighty.
Yeah, you had to go through it in your head there. I believe in one God, the Father Almighty. That is absolutely right. Here's question number 5. Who was enlisted by the Roman soldiers to help Jesus carry his cross to Calvary? Paul of Tarsus, Simon of Cyrene, or Joseph of Arimathea?
That's Simon of Cyrene.
Yeah, that's it. The 5th station of the cross. All right, you got all 5 of those right. Let's move on now to the bonus question. It's worth 25 points. Here we go. Which mystery teaches that Jesus is truly human and divine? Immaculate Conception, Incarnation, or Resurrection?
The Incarnation.
Christmas. That is absolutely right, and that is a round 1 sweep. St. Francis DeSales, you now have 75 points. We move over now to St. James Church. Martha Rakita and Donna Inman are the contestants, and Martha, you are the team captain. Round 1 begins for you right now. Here's question number 1. From the book of Exodus, we read about Moses and Joshua's return to their camp after 40 days with God on Mount Sinai. They could hear sounds of revelry from far off. The Israelites had made for themselves another god of what material? Wood, iron, or gold?
Gold.
Aaron told Moses that he had thrown the gold jewelry of the Israelites into the fire, and the calf came out. Question number 2. This saint was born in Spain. He was the youngest of 13 children. He was stirred to conversion after reading the life of Christ and the lives of the saints. He is known for founding the Jesuit order. He also wrote the spiritual exercises. Is it St. Francis Xavier, St. Ignatius of Loyola, or St. Anthony of Padua?
St. Ignatius of Loyola.
We celebrate him on July 31st, absolutely. Here's question number 3. It's true or false. The sacrament of penance gives us sanctifying grace. True or false?
True.
We receive grace from that sacrament. Question number 4. Where was Paul when he wrote the letter to Philemon? Jerusalem, Patmos, or prison?
Prison.
Paul was indeed in prison. And here's question number 5. What was the name of James and John's father? Joseph, Zebedee, or Isaac?
Zebedee.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. All right, you got all 5 correct. Let's move on now to the bonus question. It's worth 25 points. Here we go. How many psalms are there total in the Bible? 10, 85, or 150?
150.
That is absolutely right, and that's a round 1 sweep for you, St. James Church. So now both teams tied at 75. It is time for our first break here of the game. When we come back, we will introduce you to our contestants. You're listening to Catholic Challenge right here on the Living Bread Radio Network.
For over 25 years, St. Raphael Bookstore has been your source for all things Catholic. We offer resources to help you learn and defend the faith. St. Raphael Bookstore, a sponsor of Catholic Challenge, online at catholicbook.net.
Since 1919, the Ziegler family has served the community with trusted auto service and name brand products. 20 locations, 97 years, serving others. Ziegler Tire is a proud sponsor of Catholic Challenge. Find out more at ZieglerTire.com.
And welcome back to Catholic Challenge right here on the Living Bread Radio Network. I'm your host, Michael Roberts, and our competitors today are Peggy Dolensky and Jean Stavars. They are here playing for the Seminarian Fund at St. Francis DeSales Parish in Akron. Also, we have Martha Rakita and Donna Inman. They are playing for St. James Church. So let's get a chance now and meet our competitors. And Peggy Dolensky, we'll begin with you. You're here as team captain representing the Seminarian Fund at St. Francis DeSales. Obviously self-explanatory, so to speak, but one known fact is that there are some vocations that have come out of St. Francis DeSales Parish in Akron, right?
Indeed. We are very blessed to have several young men in the seminary discerning the priesthood.
If you would, take a moment and remind us about yourself. For those who are familiar, you were with us in our first season of Catholic Challenge, so you're back for more. But remind us about yourself and tell us about your partner here today.
That's correct. I enjoyed it so much last time I had to come back.
Sure.
I've been a parish of St. Francis DeSales for 24 years, and my husband and our 7 children just love it there. And my partner, Jean Stavars, has been a parishioner there with her husband and 3 boys for over 20 years, and we've been close friends and members of the choir and have done many of parish activities together.
Well, good. Thank you both for being here. It's nice to have you with us. We'll go over here to the other side. Martha Rakita, you are the team captain for St. James. Now, which St. James church is this that we're talking about?
It's east of Canton, over in between Malvern and Magnolia.
Also known as the Waynesburg area, right?
Yes.
There's a couple of good Italian restaurants in the Waynesburg area, one in particular that I go to. So I know Waynesburg is known for some good food. But aside from that, tell us a little bit about St. James Church.
Well, it's a small parish, and like a lot of the parishes, we are trying to, get more people to come. And Donna's saying is, instead of looking in, why don't you come in? So, we've been trying to go door to door and talk to people in the area. And they also have a school that's attached, and it's been there for quite a while, and we're trying to keep the doors open. And we have a very low, probably about 50 children that are there there now, and it goes up from preschool to 6th grade.
Wonderful. Tell us a little bit about yourself briefly and your partner, Donna.
Okay, well, I'm originally from the Medina area, and I moved to Waynesburg in 2013. And Donna also lives in the same apartment building, and I met her one day when her car wouldn't start. And this woman had so much faith. She prayed, and God had her car start, and off she went. Wow. And she was not Catholic at the time I met her, but since then she has come into the church.
Wonderful.
And we do many things together. And we're like sisters.
Well, isn't that something? All because of a car. Isn't that something? Well, that's great. And it's nice to have you with us here, both of you as well. All right, we're going to continue on now with our game, round number 2 to be exact. So let's hear the rules.
In round 2, each team will answer 5 questions. Correct answers are worth 15 points each. Questions are either true, false, or multiple choice. The contestants may confer, but the team captain must answer the question. There's no penalty for incorrect answers. If all 5 questions are answered correctly, the team will be given a chance to answer a bonus question worth 25 points.
All right, we'll move over here to St. Francis DeSales, the Seminarian Fund. Peggy Delensky, you are the team captain, and round 2 starts for you right now. Here we go. Question number 1. The Christmas season encompasses the time of preparation during Advent, the 12 days of Christmas, and Epiphany. The Easter season encompasses the time of preparation during the 40 weekdays of Lent, and Holy Week is linked with Pentecost Sunday, and is linked with Pentecost Sunday 50 days later. The rest of the year following Epiphany and Pentecost is known as what? Regular time, ordinary time, or rest time?
Ordinary time.
It's the longest season in the church year, ordinary time. Question number 2. Which tribe of Israel looked after the religious aspects of life? Dan, Levi, or Gad?
Levi.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Here's question number 3. The Eucharist is the source and summit of the whole Christian life. We celebrate the real presence of the body and blood of Jesus Christ in the Eucharist on this feast: Corpus Christi, Thanksgiving, or Pentecost?
Corpus Christi.
Correct. Question number 4. From Matthew chapter 6, verse 3, we read that Jesus said, "But when you give alms, do not let your left hand know what your right is doing, so that your almsgiving may be," what? Multiplied, secret, or blessed?
Secret.
So that your almsgiving may be secret. We hear that every year on Ash Wednesday in particular. Here's question number 5. Out of the 10 lepers who Jesus healed, how many came back to say thank you? 1, 5, or all 10?
Just 1.
We hear it in the book of Luke, chapter 17, just 1. All right, you got all 5 of those right. Let's move on to the bonus question, worth 25 points. Here it is. According to the Gospels, every Passover, the Roman governor offered to release a prisoner. Name the criminal who the crowd called to be freed in reference to Jesus, or in preference to Jesus. Barnabas, Barnaby, or Barabbas?
Barabbas.
And they released Barabbas. All right, that is a round 2 sweep. You now have 175 points. We move over now to Waynesburg, St. James Parish, 75 points right now. We'll see if we can add more to that. Martha Rakita, you are the team captain. Here we go. Round 2 starts right now. Question number 1. As Jesus was teaching the Beatitudes as part of the Sermon on the Mount, he said, "Blessed are the meek, for they will," what? Be lost, inherit the earth, or be persecuted?
Inherit the earth.
Matthew 5, we hear the Beatitudes. Question number 2, from Matthew chapter 5, verse 27 and 28, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery.' But I say to you, everyone who looks at a woman in this particular way has already committed adultery with her in his heart. In what way should men not look at women? With tears, with lust, or with sunglasses?"
With lust.
That is correct. Question number 3. In some versions of the Station of the Cross, there is a 15th station. On what event do we reflect with this 15th station? the resurrection, the ascension, or the Last Supper?
The resurrection.
That is absolutely right. Here we go. Question number 4. Which women from the Bible said, "Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord. Let it be done to me according to your word"? Was it Elizabeth, Susanna, or the Virgin Mary?
The Virgin Mary.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. And here's question number 5. Which prayer begins with the words, "I believe in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth"? Is it the Apostles' Creed, the Lord's Prayer, or the Magnificat?
The Apostles' Creed.
Yeah, we recite the Apostles' Creed in particular during the season of Lent and Easter, but also, of course, when we pray the Rosary. All right, here we go. You got all 5 right. Let's move on now to the bonus question worth 25 points, and here it is. Who closed the door of Noah's Ark? Was it Noah, Lot, or God? Who closed the door?
Noah.
No, the correct answer there was God. Those that entered were male and female. Of all creatures they came as God had commanded. Then the Lord shut him in. All right, no worries, though. It's still anyone's game. And St. Francis de Sales, you are in the lead with 175 points. St. James and Waynesburg, you have 150 points. It's time now for round number 3. But before we do that, we always like to acknowledge our sponsors. They are the ones who make this game possible for us week after week by donating the prize money. We say thank you to Ziegler Tire, St. Raphael Bookstore, and Ohio Catholic Federal Credit Union for being a part of our Catholic Challenge program. So thank you so much to our sponsors. Now on to round number 3. Here's the rules.
In round 3, each team will answer 5 questions. Correct answers are worth 20 points each. Questions are either true, false, or multiple choice. The contestants may confer, but the team captain must answer the question. There is no penalty for incorrect answers. If all 5 questions are answered correctly, the team will be given a chance to answer a bonus question worth 25 points.
All right, here we go. Round number 3. We'll begin with St. Francis de Sales. Peggy Delensky starts right now. Question number 1. This saint's talent for preaching was discovered by accident, or divine providence, at an ordination mass when no one else was prepared to deliver the sermon, so he stepped forward and stunned his listeners. He is most well known more recently for helping people to find lost things. We celebrate his feast day on June 13th. Who is this famous saint? St. Anthony of Padua, St. Jose of Portugal, or St. Dominic?
St. Anthony of Padua.
Tony, look around. Something's lost and must be found. That is right. Here's question number 2. True or false, both Mary and Joseph were of the family of David. True or false?
True.
Absolutely true. Question number 3. The 4 sets of mysteries of the Most Holy Rosary of the Blessed Virgin Mary focus on special events in the life of Jesus. Which one of the following is not the title of a set of rosary mysteries? Joyful mysteries, blessed mysteries, or glorious mysteries?
Blessed mysteries.
Yeah, there's no such thing as the blessed mysteries. Question number 4. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 17, Jesus said, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have come not to abolish, but to" what? Modernize, fulfill, or make easier?
Fulfill.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. Here's question number 5. The site on Calvary Hill where Jesus was crucified was known as Golgotha, meaning place of the what? Death, bones, or skull?
Place of the skull.
Yeah, absolutely right. We hear that each year in the Passion account. All right, you got all 5 of those right. We move on now to the bonus question. Here it is, worth 25 points. Which of these titles is used to refer to the Pope? Vicar of Christ, His Eminence, or High Priest?
Vicar of Christ.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, and that is a round 3 sweep. You now have 300 unblemished points. St. Francis de Sales. We move over now to St. James Church in Waynesburg. Martha Rakita, the team captain there. Here we go. Round 3 starts right now. Question number 1. This saint was born near Madrid, Spain, around the year 1070. His employer once spied on him and found him tilling the fields with angels. Sometimes, when he and his wife were giving food to beggars, the contents of their sacks were multiplied miraculously. Who is this saint whose feast day is September 9th? Saint Isidore, Saint Francis of Assisi, or Saint Anthony of Padua?
Saint Isidore.
Saint Isidore the farmer. You got it. Question number 2. Who wrote the line, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want"? Paul, David, or Job?
David.
Comes from Psalm 23, and David wrote that psalm. Here's question number 3. True or false? Mary remained a virgin all through her life on earth. True or false?
True.
Yeah, you got it. Here we go. Question number 4. From the beginning of the Gospel of John, we read, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Who is the Word? Is it Father, Son, or Holy Spirit?
Son.
That is it. Question number 5. As Christians, we are baptized in whose name? The Church, the Trinity, or the Godparents?
The Trinity.
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. That sound means you got all 5 right. Let's move on now to the bonus question worth 25 points. Here it is. In which book of the Bible does the story of Noah's Ark appear? Genesis, Exodus, or Leviticus?
Genesis.
That is absolutely right, and that is a round 3 sweep. St. James Church, you now have 275 points, but St. Francis DeSales in Akron, you are in the lead with 300 points. It's time now for another quick timeout. You're listening to Catholic Challenge, only on the Living Bread Radio Network.
Catholic Challenge is made possible through the support of Ohio Catholic Federal Credit Union, providing convenient locations throughout Northeast Ohio. NCUA insured. Online at ohiocatholicfcu.com.
And welcome back to Catholic Challenge right here on the Living Bread Radio Network. We've got a great game going here today. It's Ladies' Day, by the way, here on Catholic Challenge. The Seminarian Fund at St. Francis DeSales has 300 points. Meanwhile, St. James Church in Waynesburg has 275 points. All right, contestants, hands on your buzzers. The challenge round starts right now. Here's question number 1. Jesus took our Blessed Mother, body and soul, up to heaven, where he had a place prepared for her. What is the name? St. James.
The Assumption.
That is the name of the 4th glorious mystery of the Holy Rosary, and also the feast that we celebrate on August 15th. Question number 2. A man who was a chief tax collector and also a wealthy man was seeking to see who Jesus was. St. James.
Zacchaeus.
Yeah, but he could not see him because of the crowd and because he was short in stature, so he climbed a sycamore tree in order to see Jesus. The tax collector was Zacchaeus. Here we go. Whose father was so pleased to see him that he gave him the best robe and killed St. James?
The prodigal son.
Yeah, he was so pleased to see him that he gave him the best robe and killed the fattened calf, the prodigal son. Question number 5. On what road did Jesus reveal himself? St. Francis DeSales.
The road to Emmaus.
Yeah, this was following his resurrection. St. James, you are in the lead with 365. St. Francis DeSales, you have 330. Here's question number 7. Who said to Mary, "Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the..." St. Francis DeSales. Need an answer?
Elizabeth.
It was St. Elizabeth. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb. Here's question number 8. After a lapse of 2 years, Pharaoh had a dream. He was standing by the Nile. 7 animals, fine-looking and fat, came out of the Nile. Behind them, 7 other animals, poor-looking and gaunt, came up out of the Nile. What type of animals were these, St. James?
Cows.
Yeah, what type of animals were these in Pharaoh's dreams? They were cows. Here's question number 9. Ichthus is a Greek symbol for this animal. St. Francis de Sales.
Fish.
It is thought that during the persecutions in the early church, Christians would use this symbol to identify themselves to each other. All right, here's question number 10. What was the profession of Zebedee, the father of James and John? St. Francis. Need an answer.
Fisherman.
Yep, right under the wire. Fisherman, absolutely right. And, it's a close game. St. James, though, you are in the lead with 425 points. St. Francis de Sales, you are trailing by 5 points, 420. Here we go. Question number 11. Each of the 6 times she appeared at Fatima, Our Lady requested what specific prayer? St. Francis.
The Rosary.
The daily rosary, absolutely right. Question number 12. This saint protected himself with the sign of the cross before slaying a dragon. St. Francis.
St. George.
He is revered by both Christians and Muslims. That is absolutely right. He's also the favorite saint of England. Question number 13. What did the Second Vatican Council call the source and summit of Christian St. Francis?
The Eucharist.
The source and summit of Christian life. Here's question number 14. How many days did Jesus fast and pray? St. Francis.
40.
He prayed and fasted for 40 days in the desert before beginning his public ministry. And finally, during his passion, Jesus said, My kingdom is not of this world. To whom was he speaking? St. James.
Pharaoh. Pharaoh.
No, I'll reread the question and give St. Francis de Sales an opportunity to answer. During his passion, Jesus said, My kingdom is not of this world. To whom was he speaking?
Pontius Pilate.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. And that is the game, 570 to 425. That's the final score, 570 to 425. Congratulations to Peggy Delensky and Jean Stavars. You have now moved on to the next round and have won $200 for the Seminarian Fund at St. Francis de Sales Parish in Akron. Our special thanks to Martha Rakita and Donna Inman. A donation of $50 will be given to St. James Church in Waynesburg on your behalf. Special thanks to our sponsors, Ziegler Tire, St. Raphael Bookstore, and Ohio Catholic Federal Credit Union, whose generous support provides all our prize money. I'm Michael Roberts, and until next time, do your part and defend the faith. We'll see you right here next week for another edition of Catholic Challenge, right here on the Living Bread Radio Network.
Today's program was edited for broadcast length.
This has been another edition of Catholic Challenge, a production of the Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio. If you'd like to be a part of the program, email quiz@livingbreadradio.com. For an audio archive of this show, or to view the current brackets, go to livingbreadradio.com and join us next time for another edition of Catholic Challenge.